and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordes, joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime. Welcome back, sir. We are officially back a week into it.
Oh, yeah, back from spring break.
That's right.
Excited about it. I had a wonderful spring break. For those who don't know, I had my grandsons came and visited. They're 5 and 8. We went to the Great Plains Museum here right by the office. Awesome place. Was glad to get to visit it. They have a great maker space there when we're talking about maker spaces.
They do.
We went to the aquarium, and it was awesome out at Medicine Park. And then we went to the Fort Sill Museum. So it was a great 3 days. Very excited to finally get out and experience Lawton in some ways. So it was fun. My 5 and 8-year-old grandson enjoyed it. So for those of you looking for things to do with your children, hey, it's worth the trips.
It is, and great membership opportunities with
Yes.
them as well, and a great way to support our local community. I am excited to be back and share some good things. We've been talking the past week and even getting ready into our last trek of the school year about just a bunch of different opportunities coming forth. So let's get started into that and share, our discussions about what's going on.
Well, and it's kind of wild. We started way back in August, and we had the virtual and all the things, and we were just trying to get day to day, and here we are. It's April, and one thing that's there, it's we're going to have graduation. The seniors are going to get to have a semblance of a dance. It's not a true prom, but it's better than what they had last year, and we're just getting closer to normal. And that kind of leads into the mask mandate in the city. They got rid of it, but we're going to keep it as, and we're going to keep on going. The CDC's changed social distancing from 6 to 3 feet. And as people get vaccinated, we get better. And as you know, all of our teachers get their second vaccination today, so that's great. So on April 5th, we should be clear as far as quarantine and that. But our teachers haven't been, the first vaccination has worked for our adults because our adult positive rate's been down to 0. It's been awesome. Now, back to the other subject of all the great things. Pre-K through K, the makerspace is going great. I don't know how much we've talked about it. We got $50,000 from the Public School Foundation, $118,000 from the McMahon Foundation. We as a district are going to match that, so there's about $300,000 we're going to spend there. With that, staffing-wise, we're going to staff these makerspaces we're putting at every site. And then we're going to also move GT to a site-based at the elementaries. And we're going to include all the students at the elementary, pre-K through 5 in the GT program. So that's going to change a little bit some of the things.
And I was going to say, and that's different because we used to have them at a central location and bus them, and that has changed and looked different. But I really like that we're opening it to all sites in pre-K through 5, like Bankerspace.
Yes, and it was really just, right. I said before the GT program was solely for 5th graders. We bused them to a site, and it was a great program. So we're trying to expand it. Sometimes people think you're not. Our middle school program, the moving classes down is getting known. What we're doing with the technology program, the applications program, that's not as well known, but we're getting closer and closer to having more information on how that'll look. But basically, we're going to create introductory career tech classes that'll be more hands-on learning and more in the shop and teaching standards in coordination with your classroom. So the students that really struggle to set in a classroom can be hands-on, and it also prepare them where they get more introduction to different career tech programs. So when they become juniors and have to choose a program, they'll have more knowledge and have had hands-on experience in various programs to help them make that choice.
And I like that because that gives them several more years than their sophomore year to figure out what they want to try in their junior and senior year. We're actually taking it down to the middle school.
Yes.
And starting early with our TAP program.
Yeah, and it gives them flexibility. The fun thing you get into and with as you develop new programs and you try to expand and move forward and work with your teams is then rumors come out. There's rumors out there that we're going to have these giant class sizes. Well, we're not going to, our goal is ultimately going to keep our class sizes where they are. I've said, I'll say it now, I've said it before, I've said it 10 years ago as a superintendent, that what drives class sizes is going to be quality teachers. It's hard to find teachers, and we want every student to have a quality teacher. So in the cases that our classes get big, it's probably going to be because we can't find quality teachers. Now, obviously here in some of our elementaries, they only have 1 or 2 sections. So sometimes if kids move in or if there's just that, it always works. There's 50 third graders at this building. So you say, that's 2 teachers of 25. That's really more than we want. We'll hire a class size assistant, and we got it. Well, then the next 6 kids who walk in the door and enroll are third graders. So now you got 28 in every class, and you're thinking that's too big, but then you decide, how do you split it? You're in October or November, you hire a teacher who has to go to the new teacher again, most parents, most educators, we would rather have a great teacher with 30 students than an average teacher with 15. And so, we got to balance that, whereas Freedom, having 8 teachers per grade in some cases, they're easy to maintain class sizes. It's a little more difficult than others. But again, we watch those closely. We have whiteboards in our elementary director's office to do the class sizes. So again, that's my contribution is, even at the middle school and things like that, trying to keep those class sizes between 20 and 25. There's no plan out there to start having class sizes of 30. And obviously, when you're building schedules and trying to schedule kids and make it all work, sometimes one class ends up a little bit skewed. But to keep that to a minimum is the ultimate goal.
And the other thing with the rumors that are out there is the reading. I think there's been some confusion. Can you explain what reading looks like and the fact that it's not going away?
Well, but reading has never been required at the middle school level. Lawton pushed it down, and they included a reading or literature class with their English class, with their good things, and students that want to take those, it's still out there. As far as teaching reading, we're still going to offer reading for our students who need reading as an elective. We're even in the TAP program, we've talked about doing some reading for a certain amount of time and helping those hands-on students and trying to, that's some of the ways that we can cut class time one place and increase the hands-on time is giving them 20 or 25 minutes of skilled reading and back to the 5 levels of, the science of reading, as Dr. James calls it, and help develop that. So our ultimate goal is to create opportunities, expand opportunities, not expand roadblocks. We are not taking anything away from our students. So if a parent wants their child to have reading, we will have reading for their child.
Now, can we talk about going up into the flexibility, because that's where the LRC comes from in Tomlinson Middle School, and how many courses, and I know that's been fast moving and going, and what's going on
Charlotte
there.
And her team and the counselors are doing a great job. We have 21 teachers who've committed to work at least an hour over there, plus the Great Plains teachers will be there. There's 3 of those, and I believe Cameron has committed 8 instructors, so there's going to be a lot going on. It's probably gotten bigger year one than I expected. We were talking about transportation, and I said 1 bus, and Ms. Jackson, the executive director of the secondary, said, I don't know. In some of those cases, you may need 2 buses to run students back and forth. So we're excited because, again, it's about creating opportunities for students. I think even in this case, it'll create opportunities for teachers. And thing we don't even talk about this. One thing we'd like to do is some of our great teachers who have been retired the last few years, if they're interested in coming back and teaching 1 class, this is an opportunity where they could be paid to teach 1 class, and it could be a class they want to teach. So they could get a hold of Miss Oates, send her an email, and say, hey, I would be interested in teaching this. We're excited. We got some things covered there, and what's going on. It really looks like it's going to be a success. We're starting to talk about it around the community, and so we're excited about it. And again, continue to send emails, and we'll try to continue to put out the rumors that, we're doing this. We're going to have these giant classes. We're not going to do reading. We're not, we're going to have huge class sizes in the elementary, and that's just not the goal at all. The goal is to expand our opportunities, keep our small class sizes, and continue to offer more classes to our students, not less.
And you talked about transportation. So just so that, our families that are watching, they know that bus will remain at the site. So it's every hour there will be
back and forth,
a shuttle, almost
yes.
like LATs, that the kids won't have to drive. And even the kids that do drive, they take that and save some gas money.
And right now we have a schedule built that by varying our breaks, lunch and breakfast, and some of in your homeroom or your advisory or your Highlander time, the different things those are called in different buildings. But by varying those, where a student could get on that bus after first hour, ride over to the Life Ready Center, take their 2nd hour class there, get on the bus and have their 3rd hour class at back at their home school, even MacArthur as far as it is, and not lose any instructional time. And they can do that pretty much all day. There's a couple of them in there that'll be really tight, or we might have to work with the teachers if that became a class they just had to take. But we think our flexibility there's made it where students will be able to go over there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. The plan was to keep them tied to their home school. I had a parent ask me today, and I was meeting with the group, and he said, well, My daughter's advanced. She's taking those, which could she go over there all day? That's not really the plan, but again, we're flexible. If you want your student over there all day because they're going to take 3 concurrent classes and a couple AP classes, hey, that's your flexibility. We do not want them to lose their identity of their home school. That's not what it's meant to do. And we want them to graduate from, we're not planning on having an LRC graduation and graduating those students. So they still be tied to their home school. But I'm sure we're going to be flexible. We're going to create opportunities, and we're going to try to do those things that are best for our students.
And our students right now are working with their counselors and filling out interest surveys to make sure that we get the classes that our students want, versus just having staff that are there.
Yeah, that's the exciting thing as we've collaborated on this. And it's always fun for me to say these things like they came from me, but it's a collaboration of our leadership, of flipping that. Let's ask the kids what they want. If we have enough, if we got 3 high schools full of students, if we have enough of them that want an AP biology class, let's have an AP biology class. If we need to put facts at the Learning Center because there's a lot of Lawton High students that want it, let's put facts there. So that's going to be fun.
We're going to have the gallery. We've talked about the art show gallery.
Yeah, we've got an art teacher that wants to go there. We've got some teachers really excited about it. And I'm going to tell you, as a community, this has amazed me how much support this is getting and how much everybody sees this could be really great for Lawton, and how many parents I've had called me, oh, I wish they had that with my child, because, my child went to MacArthur and there was a student teacher at Lawton we wish we could have had, where there was a teacher at Ike I just wish we could have been part of it. And, the buy-in's been really great with our staff. It's been really great with our families. We understand that anytime you have progress, there are some that get moved, and I do feel for the Tomlinson faculty, because they're going to have to move, and we're going to really work to accommodate them. They work for Lawton Public Schools. They all have a job. It doesn't, they have the same pay. We're really working hard to make all that work. So there is a little bit of relocation involved with some people, and in progress, that happens. It still doesn't make it easier. And so for those people, I do have that sense of dread. I wish there was another location. It was just perfect. And with the TAP and the moving the high school classes down, it just made sense to put those students next to Lawton High and make that a more centrally located.
And our families that are at Tomlinson right now this year and next year, and the ones that are coming up from our feeder schools, they are being contacted too.
Yeah, and we're trying to work with those parents, make sure you know where you go. We're going to try to accommodate transportation at least the first year or two, and give you the choice between Eisenhower Middle School or Central Middle School, and let you pick with transportation, because we have transportation districts more than we have districts. We allow our students, now athletics is a different story, but we allow our students pretty free reign to attend the school they need, as long as there's space. And right now, all of our schools have space. So yes, we're excited about that, and continue to send, to info at lawtonps.org, your questions, and we'll try to continue to answer them. And we don't mind them, because anytime you're doing something new and moving forward, there's going to be some misunderstandings, and people say, well, you're doing this. No, we're not. We're not taking, we're not taking reading out of the schedule. Reading will be part of it. Matter of fact, reading and math remediation and some of those, we were talking yesterday, we're one day this week to our curriculum people and our middle school director about how that was going to look, and they're looking at some great ways to improve that and create more opportunities once again for all of our students, because that's the deal we don't talk about enough. This is not about just one set group of students. We're going to try to create opportunities at the LRC for every student if they're interested in it.
And coming into the end of our school year, there's a big deal with families right now that we want to share, and that's our testing schedule.
Yes.
Because April is coming up, and at the end of April is when all of our sites, and they each have their own individual ones. So we do want you to check out your school's website and find out when those testing dates are. And can you share the importance of that for our families?
Get your child sleep, get them there. The great thing going on is, A through F's been a pain for us as educators, and what they use the test data for. The exciting thing for me as an educator is, the test data this year is not used to judge your student. It's not used to judge our teachers. Really, it's going to judge what we've put together as curriculum. It's going to be really great and important for us to see where our gaps are in virtual, where our gaps are in curriculum, what gaps we got because of the COVID, the COVID gap, as we call it, because the students were out so long. So it's more about evaluating Lawton Public Schools, and for us to use this data to drive how we educate and how we change our our delivery of our programs. It's not about judging your kids who will be taking the test or judging your children's teachers. So that's exciting because, I talk to people all the time about it. We say, man, we got to end testing. I said, when I was a kid, I took an achievement test every year. We always took the test. We just didn't judge people with them. We used that data to drive instruction. And this is going to be one of the years that as a district, we're going to use the data we get to help us be part of the decision making, our instructional decision making. So we're excited about that.
It's great because we're already into our last week of March. By the time we come back, March, April, and April 1st is this Thursday. Yes.
Wow.
It's happening quickly. But that also brings into other things that are taking place, celebrations. And we have the Lawton Public School Foundation. Do you want to share what's going on?
They had a golf tournament April 5th. Shout out to our community once again. I've talked to them. They were wanting to raise $30,000. Last I heard, they were getting close to $70,000. So if you want part of that and join in, sign up. They were full. They're going to have to use all day. Exciting. This community, again, jump out there and support it. Very excited about that because the foundation, they're a great supporter of us. We just mentioned they donated $50,000 to this district-wide makerspace, and that's exciting that you got a foundation out there to help make this work and help us as we move forward with this.
Just watching the kids get excited and see kind of what's coming has been incredible because their eyes just, are open and, coming out there and showing teachers what's going to come is also incredible to see just kind of their excitement about what's happening with the makerspace.
Yeah,
well.
and it's just, again, it's that hands-on, and we know that, there's purposeful play, some people call it, and at some point we'll develop standards and things that go with it, but the beginning is just more of, like you say, it's a purposeful play to get kids where they get to do things with their hands and be creative, and we got to make sure we push that and we provide opportunities for our students in that way.
April is also a big month for us with Military Child. That's the month of the Military
definitely
Child.
Huge here.
But share what's happening on April 16th at Freedom.
Purple Star, it kind of gets to, that kind of goes back and forth. This Purple Star designation is new. It's kind of a national new thing. No one in Oklahoma has done it. We've applied for it. We're working toward getting it. I think in some of the podcasts we say we have the designation.
And it's the Purple Star program with a designation.
We're in the program. And we're working toward the designation as a district. So we're going to get every site. We're going to do everything we can to get every site designated. So our district will be a Purple Star district. And so it kind of gets to be a little bit of a feedback. But we're excited about that. And again, it's a new program. So sometimes
we're the first in the state.
Yeah, we're the first in the state to join the program. So sometimes how that's shared, I think there's been a little bit of confusion. And I've probably shared it. I make one mistake every now and then.
I'm only smiling because I'm just smiling.
I think I've used the time that we've already been the designation, but we're in the program.
Right.
We're working toward the designation. It takes more time, but we are celebrating.
We'll start it at Freedom
Yes.
because that's where we'll bring in all of our House representatives and senators.
Yep. And we're going to start that on the 16th of April, and that's exciting. So we're excited about that because, again, that's a huge part of Lawton Public Schools. It's a huge part of our community, and we really like to work with the military parents and families to ensure that we're providing and creating a great educational experience for their children.
And we'll definitely share more information as we get closer to that event. Now, what else would you like to celebrate?
Esports.
Yes.
Our esports team at Eisenhower High School is qualified for state, so exciting. We're very excited about that. The one thing, esports is really getting big. And this is another thing, when we go back to our Life Ready Center, you talk about we really don't have a great esports arena at Lawton Public Schools. And all of our schools, even middle schools, are starting to pick up some esports. And it's like, to build one of those right, I think it's a couple $100,000 to do it right. Well, again, we could build one at the Life Ready Center and everybody could have access to it. So that's exciting, and that's probably something we'll add to the Life Ready Center is an esports arena.
And there's more to the esports, as far as just gaming. There's the behind the scenes and there's the programming. There's so much.
Kids get college scholarships in it. It's fast moving because, like you said, there's a whole lot to it, and there's money to be made into the program and the gaming and so forth, but even developing the games and
designing
such, there's a lot of employment opportunities in esports. So it's exciting, and for us to get on the forefront and our people to do it, we need to go out there and expand it. So we're excited about, again, to have a central location where we can put that all of our kids, 6 through 12 even, our middle school kids can also have access to it.
Is there anything else you want to celebrate before we end our podcast or let our community know?
There's a baseball tournament they have here
The Bo Bowman.
The
It's
Bo
happening
Bowman, yeah,
soon.
and it's new to me. And I was a baseball coach one time. Everybody doesn't know that, but I really enjoy baseball, so I'm really excited. I've heard things. So,
And it's right behind. It's right out here at Lawton High's.
do they play it at
baseball
all
field.
3 fields or just at Lawton High?
It depends. I think they do all 3 because
Okay.
it's a big turnout and
I know you got
our
girls, so
athletic
you don't know
director-
everything on baseball.
Now my girls are soccer, but baseball is fun to watch and see all of the families come out and the students come out and just teams and just doing something outside. And we just hope we've had years where the weather has not been cooperative with us, so we hope again, just like graduation, we'll cross our fingers since it's going to be at Cameron that. Also for the Bo Bowman, that the tournament is
We're
great
just
weather.
excited. We're really into the spring,
Yes.
and we've gotten here. Our families and our students have been awesome, wearing masks and doing the things we need to do to get here. We're just excited that right now we're just going to try to keep on keeping on and finish the year as normal as possible, and have normal graduations, normal proms, normal awards assemblies, and some of the things we do.
As normal as we can. There are some
Yes,
restrictions.
there'll
but
always be some
yes.
restrictions, but to get closer to normal, and we're excited about that, and and hopefully, the vaccines. I read that they're going to open it up to 16 and above starting next week.
I think they're starting the appointments, so it's great.
Yeah, so when we start school next year, even high school sports and some of those will be out of the quarantine, and if you look at how it's working with our teachers, we're going to be a whole lot more. We're going to be really close to normal when we get back in August.
And we still have our mask mandate, so remind our families that we're worried about that. We do have that. Mr. Hime, thank you so much for your time.
Till next week.
That's right. Thank you guys for coming. Until then, stay safe, be well, and make positive impacts. We will see you then.